3 governing bodies representing over 140 member associations turned against Gianni Infantino in the same week. UEFA voted 55-0 to boycott. The Asian Football Confederation followed. CONCACAF followed. His own Secretary General called his decision sad and reproachable. His own COO told staff they had been deceived. 6 national associations that had previously written letters of support formally rescinded them. And then Africa spoke, and everything changed. Patrice Motsepe is the president of the Confederation of African Football. He represents 54 member associations, the largest single voting bloc in FIFA's 211-member Congress. On Wednesday, he delivered the statement that tells you exactly how this crisis ends. If anybody wants to take out Infantino, Motsepe said, they must follow procedure and go through the ballot box. Not the no-confidence vote, not the extraordinary Congress, the ballot box. In March, in Morocco, where Infantino has his strongest support, where the election was always going to happen. That one statement from the man who controls Africa's votes is the reason Infantino is still standing, and likely still will be, in March. But the full picture of what happened in the last 72 hours is more complicated than any single statement. And it changes the question from, will Infantino be removed, to can anyone actually beat him? Start with how far the opposition has grown. On Monday, UEFA, AFC, and CONCACAF issued a joint statement. 3 continental confederations representing 93 member associations accusing Infantino of breaking their trust through deception. It was the strongest language 3 governing bodies have ever used simultaneously against a sitting FIFA president. On Wednesday, the Football Association of Ireland became the latest to rescind its letter of support, joining Wales, England, Serbia, Finland, and Sweden in a growing list of European associations that had previously backed Infantino and have now formally walked away. The FAI's statement was specific. Recent events have raised significant concerns regarding governance, transparency, and the lack of meaningful consultation. Given the governance issues the FAI itself has worked hard to overcome in recent years, we believe it is important to uphold the highest standards of accountability and best practice. An association that had its own governance crisis and rebuilt from it, publicly telling the FIFA president that his standards fall below what they now require. That is not a diplomatic withdrawal, that is a verdict. But the support withdrawals are only half the picture, because on the same day Ireland walked away, 6 other associations publicly announced they are backing Infantino. And those 6 tell you where the real power in this election lies. Qatar, Lebanon, Morocco, Sudan, Egypt, and Mauritania all issued public statements of support for Infantino on Wednesday. 4 of the 6 hold seats on the FIFA Council. Their statement praised Infantino's sustained efforts to advance football globally, expand opportunities across all regions, and strengthen the game's role in bringing people and communities together. Not one word about the FFE plan. Not one word about the UEFA legal letter naming 18 FIFA executives. Not one word about the Swiss criminal investigation. The statement reads as if the last 3 weeks did not happen. And that is precisely the point. For these associations, what happened is that Infantino proposed a plan that would have doubled their development funding. The plan failed, but Infantino is still the president who built the financial system that pays for their football programs. Withdrawing support is not free. It costs them the relationship with the man who controls the funding. Here is the arithmetic that decides everything. UEFA has 55 votes, AFC has 47, CONCACAF has 41. Together, if every single one voted against Infantino in March, they would have 143 votes. To defeat Infantino, they need 106. On paper, they have enough. But here is where mathematics collide with political reality. CONCACAF stopped short of calling for Infantino's resignation in their joint statement. Some AFC associations are not ready to vote against a president who has funded their football development for a decade. The joint statement was unanimous at confederation level. The individual member associations are a different question. And that gap between what confederation presidents say and what member associations actually do in the voting booth in Morocco is the gap Infantino is betting his presidency on. But the story became even more complicated yesterday when the first confirmed challenger emerged. Victor Montagliani, CONCACAF president, FIFA vice president, the man who drove the tripartite 2026 World Cup bid across the United States, Canada, and Mexico, is confirmed by The Athletic as eager to challenge Infantino. He would be the first serious challenger since Infantino won the presidency in 2016. Other names remain in circulation. Al-Khalifi has said no 3 times, but UEFA members keep pushing him. Sheikh Salman lost to Infantino in 2016 by 115 votes to 88 and leads the AFC opposition. Ceferin has not closed the door on the FIFA role, despite preferring to stay at UEFA. The November 18th deadline for candidates to formally declare gives all of them 16 weeks to decide. 16 weeks for Infantino to shore up the blocks he needs. 16 weeks for a challenger to build a coalition across 3 continents. And 16 weeks in which any development, a Swiss criminal verdict, a congressional finding, or a new governance scandal could shift the calculation entirely. The congressional investigation is still live. The August 9th deadline for FIFA to produce documents about the Trump relationship passed 5 days ago. FIFA has not publicly confirmed compliance. The Swiss criminal investigation into Infantino's 3 undocumented meetings with the former Attorney General is still running. The UEFA legal letter naming 18 executives as potential evidence holders is still active. Infantino is simultaneously managing 4 separate legal and political processes while running an unofficial re-election campaign from within the FIFA presidency itself. The private goal of UEFA, CONCACAF, and AFC, described by multiple sources, is to give Infantino the opportunity to resign with dignity rather than face a contested election. They are not confident they can beat him in a vote. They know Motsepe's statement means Africa holds. They know some Asian and CONCACAF associations will not break from the president who funds them. The no-confidence route requires political courage from associations that depend on FIFA money. That courage, historically, has not materialized when the moment arrives. The ballot box in March in Morocco, as Motsepe correctly identified, is the only legitimate path. And Infantino knows that if he reaches that ballot box with no credible challenger declared by November 18th, he wins by default for the 4th time. He has done it before. In 2019, with no opponent. In 2023, with no opponent. The playbook is the same. The difference this time is that a challenger appears to be forming. Whether Montagliani or anyone else can consolidate enough votes across UEFA's 55, enough AFC defectors, and enough CONCACAF associations to reach 106 while Africa holds is the question that will define the next 16 weeks of world football. Subscribe. When any candidate formally declares, this channel covers it immediately.